yes. Excited for this one. Lipany, first thing to check is the generation, because I'm a stickler for this right now. You know, I'm just going to go on a quick rant later. You know how I am. I like to derail the conversation every half an hour. I am sick of these terrible generations, and Lipany is one of the worst criminals to this. Sometimes you get something that looks more like Mountain Pass than Lipany, but this one is fresh. It is open. It is looking like Dry Arabia minus, because plus would make it even drier. And I got to say that this is a lot more open than what we're getting. And that's when we have to start thinking about the aggressive sip, because when you get an open generation like this is what I was talking about, where the Mongols can kind of be hit and miss. When it's an open field, it is open season on your opponent if you are the tempo aggressor. So TheMista will have to clock this quickly after scouting and adjust accordingly. Once again, what I was highlighting in the pregame, camels and horsemen in the midfield could give you complete dominance over LucifroN.
Especially if you consider the fact that LucifroN's gold mines and stones are all spawning very close to one another. Every single gold mine he has, including, the stone mines as well, both stone mines, in fact, those are just in one large clump. If Salami shows that to us, that will be very useful. He's apparently really obsessed with all these forests, but the gold mine spawns would be pretty important to take a look at here on the left side, close to LucifroN's base, because as you pointed out, if the Abbasids take over in the army department, this could be more than concerning. Oh, there we go. Look at this. All three gold mines and both stone mines on the very same screen. If LucifroN loses momentum here, we could easily see him being denied of all the key resources that the Mongols need.
Can we just rename Lipany to Mongany right now, though? This generation is definitely favoring him in a lot of ways. The beautiful thing about having all your gold like this is it creates that nice caravan route for your step read out as you go into the mid game. And he has a lot of value playing that north side. Now, typically the way this works is a lot of the resources are biased to either the north or south side. By the way, another thing that's usually biased to one side or the other is sacred sites. And once again, another detail that I'm noticing, this is Dry Arabia negative. Because it's got a little bit more going on than Dry Arabia. But if you look at those sacred sites, as well as the lack of mountains and the spread out of trees, this doesn't even look like Lipany. The only thing that makes this seem like Lipany, Lidakor, is that fat-ass stealth forest in the center.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It feels like Dry Arabia, basically. Goldmine exposed over here from TheMista, by the way, and we did see a villager pool supported by some spearmen from LucifroN. I mean, given how open this map is, TheMista should 100% expect some level of aggression coming in from the Mongol player. There's a red dot close by, and yeah, he probably sees the villagers, so he knows what's up. The problem here that he's facing is that if his gold mine gets tower rushed in time, we could even see him having insufficient gold for wheelbarrow and fresh foodstuffs.
Yeah, and that's a key detail here. It blocks out your castle age. It would allow LucifroN to plow forward. Another cool thing is he can wrap on the wood in this situation. Although it wouldn't completely block TheMista out of wood, it would put him out in the middle of Danger Town, far away from the safety of town center. And the beautiful thing that LucifroN can do at that point is he could follow up with additional aggression after he reaches feudal off the back of, say, horsemen or archers. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm looking at that stealth forest now, and I'm realizing, actually, Lidakor, that's the missing bow tie that you were meant to wear.
No, I was never meant to wear a bow tie. We agreed on a tie, but that's going to make its debut tomorrow. Bow tie wasn't part of the equation.
We never specified which type, you know. This is one of those situations where we get you out on a technicality. You know when you, like, say, peace, right? You ever played the RTS games where you give a peace time of, like, 10 minutes? But no one said anything about walling in your opponent. Was that not allowed? You didn't say.
I mean, when I actually plugged in to just play the FFA event that Drongo hosted a couple of days ago, I actually replaced LucifroN, and I spawned right next to Kazva, and I said, peace, peace, and I got Kremlin rushed.
Oh, the best part is he was crying about another player betraying him before. You see what happens. Everyone turns straight at the end. That's why we always come back to the beautiful 1v1s, all right? No broken trust here. Just broken hearts when we watch brothers go up against each other. Which actually, can I just point out that, is that only possible for the Canadians at the monthly here? I think only the Canadians can match up against each other. Like, oh, no,
they can't even.
Both Canadians and Spaniards cannot match up against. So we will not have brothers blocking brothers from having a shot at making it to Heidelberg this time around. Notice I say this time around like a sick puppy.
LucifroN up to 6 spearmen, ton of aggression coming out from him. Response from TheMista is just going to be archers, but the second tower is already up, and when you have a 6 spearmen on the battlefield, that's a big commitment from the Mongols players. So you want to get something out of this one. And so far it's working out well because you deny the gold mine. So you see, Mista does not have a wheelbarrow. I'm actually curious to see if he managed to squeeze in fresh foodstuffs. I would think yes.
Wow, that's an insanely early ram. A lot of the time the Abbasid players will delay this because they do have reserve golds and wood, but he doesn't
no
want to go
reserves
for that.
here.
No, because in fairness, the Southern Gold is out in the middle of the field, so he doesn't want to risk it. Because one thing, if you look at the Southern Gold for the Abbasids here, the Stealth Forest is quite close by. You could be rushed out of that, and I think that's why he doesn't want to play to that south side. Like, it looks far away on the mini-map, but realistically, if you're not paying attention, your opponent could gap close and block you off from retreating.
And keep in mind that LucifroN has spotted the archers, so the natural reaction here for the Mongols, if they are not going for fast castle, is stable and horsemen. So you don't really want to move out to the middle of the field out there with just a bunch of villagers, because you are possibly expecting, or at least respecting the fact, that LucifroN has the potential to add horsemen, but instead 2 more spearmen are being added. He's up to 8. That's a heavy commitment out there. He wants to fight off the ram with the spears, and with 8 spears, this might actually work out.
So what I love here, actually, LucifroN's kind of done enough to go for his own castle he wants to. We'll talk about that in a sec, because it looks like the spears are actually getting a decent amount of torch damage out here. Whoopsie, no room for Timmy. So much damage done already, though. Ram still not finishing his duty shit. Dude, that micro, he's inside the outpost when he's lobbing torches right now.
This is beautiful micro out there. He won't be able to save the tower out here, but he's going to trade it off to a couple of archers at least. And if he can take down the battering ram, he can buy himself a ton of precious time. Backing away. He's down to just 1 spearman, though. Villager is still alive. Arrows is just now coming in. The ram is heavily damaged. I would love to see Mista pulling a villager for the repairs, though, because if he does that, he can clean that tower up very effectively.
What I was going to say about LucifroN, like, the whole idea is these 2 outposts alone are good enough to cover your castle if you want, because what he's done is he didn't just block the gold, he blocked the stone. So every maneuver that Mista's thinking about right now, he can't do. That's why he went so early into the ram, because if he didn't, he can't unlock any of his potential builds as the Abbasids. And one of those builds he's now unlocking now, as after he torches this outpost down, a lot of people are going to be on that stone line. They already have the wood, they're just waiting on the second ingredient for a town center.
LucifroN also lost a scout there down south to the villagers. He's down to just 1. In general, he is down to 1 spearman here, no army on the battlefield, and it looks like he's playing a second town center feudal age over here. Not something that you see every day from the Mongols. He's nowhere close to castle. Instead, he is very much locked on the wood, and with that, he's going to drop a second TC, but...
Wait.
That's a little too few.
Oh, you'd think when you drag 11 villagers back, some of them would have a full capacity, but no, everyone's slacking off in the Mongol Empire. And it is going to be a TC drop over onto the deer and the berries with the woodline as well. So a nice placement and a very different strategy for LucifroN. One that isn't that likely to be scout because Mista only has 1 scout.
But that 1 scout is right next to the TC, KP.
Oh, no.
That's gonna get insta-spotted. He's actually lucky that the archers are not here right now, so the town center is going up. But one has to wonder if that battering ram has an upside to just deny the gold mines or the Ovu, because... Wait a second, that TC won't be covering any of the gold mines.
Whoops.
Uh-oh, if you're not making army here, you're gonna be cut off from gold.
This is a problem, right? And like LucifroN... I mean, I was looking for the scout. I didn't even look at my screen. I was so busy looking at the mini-map. I can't believe that this went unnoticed. But if you think about the vision perspective, LucifroN, he has a 4 to Uvu. His TC doesn't cover this area. He doesn't have an outpost there because he doesn't expect to be aggressed. Everything is a negative right now for this TC play because LucifroN so gluttonously went towards it with no vision on the area.
That's exactly that. Mista still has a battering ram. Like, that ram could be brought in here to start taking down the Ovu. Stable now being added as a response here from LucifroN, but keep in mind, there comes the battering ram. I would love to see Mista dropping a forward tower here. It would be a great staging ground, and all you gotta do is deny gold, and you ultimately win the game, because there is simply no fallback options over here for LucifroN. The next closest gold mine is to the north, which once again would be impossible for him to access. There is just gold mines on the right side very far away. That's the only fallback option that LucifroN has if he loses these.
And also, Mista, like, the reason he's standing so close is that when this happens, he's still doing a lot of damage. The peppering arrows, remember, when you pack these buildings up, they have 0 armor. So they take full damage from ranged. And the cool thing is actually if Mr. gets up to like 12, 13 infantry, he can body block them when they pack up. Looks like we'll at least be able to move the racks away for the moment, but that Uber you talked about is now exposed and Mr.'s on guard. LucifroN in a little bit of trouble because every time he has to pull back like this, it's time he could have been spending building new units.
And there's the tower, Spearman already on the battlefield as well for Mista. There's a Camel Archer to debuff LucifroN's cavalry. There is Spearman already. So by the time those first few horsemen become relevant, it's gonna be too late.
He could block this right now. Oh, he's gonna let the Deer Stone go up though. He actually could have blocked that from deploying. Yam is gonna be a crucial detail here because if you don't have enough spears, you can at least outmaneuver. The problem is with 6 already built and on their way to the front line and an outpost to follow up, the issue for LucifroN is he has to keep peeling back. Now, the cool thing about the Mongols,
cancelled.
Lidakor,
He had to cancel Wheelbarrow.
Yeah, because he can't afford. Like, it doesn't do it. Like, he's got Yam. His issue isn't moving.
No, he had Wheelbarrow being researched on the forward Gur, but he had to pull that because of the aggression.
Yeah.
And now it gets cancelled.
But like, I don't think Wheelbarrow is the damning detail. The damning detail here, Lidakor, is he has to keep pulling back his base. If Salami just wants to quickly go to the left of the screen, you'll notice that there's only so far you can retreat before you fall off the edge of the map.
Oh, now villagers being pulled against the battering ram. Ram actually goes down over here. Will be traded off to 2 villagers, but the problem right now... Like, the problem right now is that you're so much behind. Just think about it.
Yeah.
2 town centers... No, that's not 2. That's 3. Look at Mista's base. Let's take a look at Mista's base for a brief moment. That's not 2 town centers. He's playing 3, ladies and gentlemen.
It. Yep. Because he can afford it, Lidakor. He's the Abbasids. They only cost 25 food each. Of course you can field a tiny baby army. And guess what? Mongols, even with all their efforts trying to be put into military, they can't put it into military because all their buildings keep packing up and stopping what they're doing midway through production or research.
And behind this one, LucifroN lost his scout and the Khan was back at home the whole time. LucifroN has no idea about this. He probably is expecting 2 town centers, but he is completely unaware of the fact that he's up against 3. And that's going to turn into a villager lead slowly for Mista, while also he's very successful denying the gold from LucifroN. Actually, LucifroN has access to gold. Wait a second, look at the south.
Yeah, he snuck to the south side. He snuck south. He went, wait. His scout, he knows about that as well. Mista! His vision has been phenomenal in these games, especially this one. Every single move LucifroN makes, he's fully aware of, and now he's shifting attention to the south side because wherever your gold miners go, he will follow.
And that's the last reserve option that LucifroN has. If you get cut off from that, there is really no more fallback options. At least LucifroN will be able to squeeze out the Castle Age. But think about it this way.
After that, he should be able to get his initial units out. Like, he should be able to get enough gold in the meantime to get him up to 2 free Lancers. And at that stage, it's only arrow sets. Can we, by the way, just take a moment to appreciate that this was starting to turn into an Abbasid player outpost rushing a Mongol? LucifroN just getting a heavy dose of irony in this game. It feels good to see. You know, the Abbasids, they don't usually have fun like this, but this is some of the starting to happen. And I think the lesson we're taking away right now in the meta Lidakor is maybe outposts are a little bit broken. Like, I don't know about you, but when any other Civ does outposts, rushes, you know, like China, Mongols, English, okay, sure, whatever. Whenever the Abbasids are able, no, that's when you got to shut down. If the Abba can, no, they're gonna, someone has to be the underdog here, all right? If Abbas are able to outpost rush as well, it's clearly open.
And look at that step out being placed on the Lumberjacks because you don't have a safe gold mine to place it onto, right? Oh, this is what it really is painful. I mean, he can't place it anywhere right now.
I mean, I've seen Mongol players do that with the step readout when all the gold's gone. And in a way, all the gold is gone for LucifroN is he can't really access anywhere. But there's so many veins so close to him and yet so hard to reach. It looks like he has moved for one of the gold veins, but I think the arrow set should reach. In the meantime, Camel Archers peppering down the Khan. Maneuver arrow to try and get him away. And wait, what? Did he just... I'm pretty sure the Camel Archer could have finished off the Khan there.
Yeah, I think so as well. Looks like LucifroN is gonna get away. Mista on the way to Castle himself. He got slowed down a tiny bit. And that buys a lot of precious time here for LucifroN. But wait a second, where is LucifroN's Castle Age army at? Can you answer that question to me, KP?
It's one of those back orders. You know when you're like, oh, I really like that couch. I want to order one of them. And they're like, we'll have it in 3 weeks. That's what's happening right now.
Oh man, this is looking such an ugly eco. Lumberjacks carrying wood from miles away, gold miners getting peppered down by the tower fire, and you're forced to take berries. This is not how a Mongol eco should look like. First traction trebuchet is going to hit the field right now, but the problem is that behind this one, Mista is completely untouched, and we are really getting to the stage where the Abbasids will unlock their real power once they have that full boom going thanks to those 3 town centers.
Hey man, let's look at the positives though. At least LucifroN's finally using that step read out.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. That's all I can say to that. Yes, he's using the step read out. It's better to just use it to drop off berries than for nothing. He's now actually taking his time repairing it, finally going on to the gold mine. Better late than never, that's for sure, but Mista, of course, is now amping up the level of aggression, and he's prepped for Lancers. He's going full Spearman over here, and the town center can't protect those villagers on the berries. Deja vu coming in here because those gold miners will be forced to flee again.
Actually, if they were on the berries, they'd be protected. Lidakor's the gold and they're not protected.
But he needs gold, not berries!
But at least he's using the step readout, okay? It looks like he's going for the outpost now, so that'll at least bolster him a little. Trebuchet a little bit exposed, though, and TC will at least be able to assist with that, but Treb's quickly pushed back. Dives can start to come out, and this starts to get a little bit uncomfortable, because remember, like, so far, Mista was playing all this off of feudal aggression. Now, one cool thing you can do as the Abbasids, the Mongols are not alone in this game. Oh, no. You can build siege in the field as well.
And the Mongols right now cannot, because you do not have improved siege engineering, and you are strained on stone because you did lose your initial Ovu. Gold miners finally getting a chance over here. Camel Archer now coming in for the denial, and this is where that Springald really gets intriguing, because while the base damage has been nerfed long ago, it still has 10 range, so it can just camp that gold mine and pick off villagers slow and steady.
You can see that he's just desperately trying to get that gold, but the problem I see is by the time LucifroN gets gold, how many military units are going to be here? Also, what's defending your trebuchet? I'm going to look away from that top bar for units for LucifroN right now.
There's a shaman defending them, okay?
Get him, shaman!
It's something, right? I mean, technically, it's not much, but it's honest work. For now, Town Center will keep the trebuchets alive, but as you said, what is defending them, really? Nothing. The Springald will just pick them off from a distance, and LucifroN is losing all the gold miners, even.
Yeah, the gold miners go down. At least he completes the archer ranges in a very ambitious location. He's lucky he didn't get sniped out doing that. He's going to crawl out from more outpost, but by the way, something that Mista can do, remember Springalds, they're not as good as they used to be. We're not in the age of Springald, but they still do 30 damage, and if I'm not mistaken, LucifroN still does not have textiles.
Indeed, Camel Archers.
And he doesn't
oh,
have
look
a
at
game
that.
either.
There's the GG.
He's gonna call it. Hey,
Second time in a row.
The Krebs lived until the very end, Lidakor.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at the positives, that's definitely one to look on. But right now, it's all about the gold control for Mista. 2 games in a row where he wins with gold control. And you could say, oh, it's so unlucky that the gold mine spawned that way. It is something that can happen in random map scripts. It's all about how your opponent can exploit that. And Mista has done a great job exploiting the forward gold mine spawning over here, dealing with the tower's aggression from LucifroN initially, and then realizing that if he tower rushes the enemy gold mines, he could do tremendous damage to the Mongols here, and ultimately ended up winning game number 3. And with that, moves on to match point in this best of 5.